Hi guys, yeah, it's been, well, not, be 14 years after bank holiday, I think round about bank holiday time, when I've lost my twins. I basically want to say this, because I think I've said it in my videos before, in my video diary, in my life one, because I was going to do the draw of life, and it's hard to do the draw of life when you don't know how to do the editing, so you basically just talk in front of the camera. And I was just going to say about a brother and sister in like brother and sisters, and it's not easy being a loner, which I am, and because my brother died in the same year when I lost my twins, and it was in the same month when I lost my twins, and it was like sort of after when my brother died, and I had to go through the funeral and everything else when I was carrying my twins, and I was about 2 or 3, I think I was about 2 or 3 months pregnant, coming up to the 4th month, and went for my scan. They said I had no heartbeat inside with the 2 babies, and basically they said, do you want an operation? Like the I don't know what it's called, I think it's the A and C one. Basically they said, do you want the operation or do you want natural? So I said natural. I'd say I wouldn't lose them natural, and because I'm with me being a natural person, because I don't have makeup, don't have anything on, you know, so just basically, yeah, get to the point. So I had it natural. I was in a lot of pain. My late husband John, which is Marcus's dad, he was out at the time, and this is going to be so hard for me to talk about, but I feel it's in need. I need to talk because it's still hard. 5 minutes, guys. Right. Yeah. And my late husband was out. He was at a meeting because he used to work for the Gateway Club in Darlington, the Disabled Youth Club. And I started to bleed. And at home, I was at home, had Marcus with me at the time when he was baby, and I started to bleed, and I had to ring my mother to get her to come over because she lived out of town to look after Marcus. Then I had to ring John up, and he came home straight away, took me, got us to the hospital. Tell you guys, there's nothing worse than going through that. Through the pain of losing a child, there is nothing worse. And my legs felt weak. I was in the bathroom at the time because I couldn't move. I couldn't even stand because I was losing that much blood. And John had to wait for the ambulance men to come up, and they had to came straight up to the bathroom. And they were asking me to stand, and I said I couldn't because I felt really sick. I felt weak and I just couldn't stand. And they said, well, you've got to come to the hospital. I said, yes, I know, I've got to go. I know I've got to go. I was trying to force myself not to go, but I had to go to get myself better. And I got to the ambulance because they put me in one of these chair things what I could manage to get in, and they couldn't feel any on my pulse. They said, are you still alive? I said, well, I hope so. Yeah, I was still sat on the toilet. I was trying to have a sense of humour at the same time with them, and he said, well, at least you got a sense of humour. I said, I'm trying to, you know, but, and he said, he's still alive, because like he couldn't feel any pulse on me because I was that weak. And they got me to the hospital. What I can slightly remember, I was so dazed, and all I can remember bits about the hospital, because I was in the theatre room, and I remember seeing my mum and Marcus, like, you know, before you get into the theatre room, you get the corridor before you go through the doors, double doors type of thing. And I remember seeing my mum and Marcus, and I remember Marcus, because he was only about, say, that, for my new subscribers who you don't know who Marcus is there. He was all about that small, and his little face was crying, and all I can remember was seeing tiles. You know, like when you lay down in bed and all you can see is tiles, and then that's what I kept saying was tile lights, going before I went into the theatre. And I remember holding John's hand, and because John was the side of me. And if you've heard of the tunnel of light experience, I've mentioned to you this before. I've been through it. This is what happened, because when I got to the theatre, my brother was at the bottom of the bed waiting for me, because they always say when you die your loved ones wait, and I believe in that because I've seen it myself. And this is no word of a lie, no joke. I will not make mock of it, fun of it, whatever you want to call it. This is a serious life story. And my brother was at the bottom of the bed waiting, and I felt, I don't know if I was dreaming because of what happened to my brother, and because of that many drugs that probably were put into me, but it felt like something, like you lifted out of your body and you were going into, all I could remember was this like tunnel and a white cloud, like mist, and people like shadows, like silhouette, standing on one side and standing on the other side. And I saw this big face of a man, and I was arguing with him. I said, my time's not ready yet, I've got my son to look after. And apparently I was arguing with him, and I could see John, my late husband, putting his, like, short, like, crying over me. And when I woke up the following day, I told John this what happened, and I had pain there on my chest, like here, and John told me they had to bring me back with the shockers, and that's where I got the pain. I got the pain there, and I did lose my twins through miscarriage and a blood hemorrhage, so I was quite lucky to live. So this is, guys, this is why I enjoy life, because you never know what's round that corner. You never know when your number's up. That was the most scariest experience I ever been through. And through them years, when it happened to me, I did fall back on myself, and I went through the drugs, as I've said this before, and I got in the wrong crowd, but I came back on top because Dougie got me out of it, as I've said this before. And now I'm trying to appreciate life as much as I can, which you do. You do appreciate. After you've been through an experience like that, guys, you do not want to go through something like that again. You do not want to go through that again. So I'm trying to keep on my level all the time. And I just wanted to share this to you because it would have been 14 years, around about 14 years ago when I lost my twins. And the happiest moment was, but not saying not the happiest moment when I lost my twins, but the happiest moment what I could remember when I came out of hospital, because we booked our holiday, me and my late husband booked our holiday for Blackpool because we were going to go to Blackpool, and we were taking Marcus because it was his first holiday as a family, and my mother came as well. And hang on a minute guys, but back to it later.